friends, it's Wanetah. So today I wanted to work with this box that I got from an estate sale for 15 bucks. At the time, I thought that was a really good deal, but now that I've been spoiled and I've been buying furniture and furniture sets and pieces for like 10 bucks or under 50, I kind of feel like it was an expensive purchase. But nevertheless, I was using it. It looked really nice in my bedroom on top of my desk because it was plain and white. I was using it for my piano music, but I really wanted to use one of these transfers. This I thought would go really well in my bedroom, but the pieces were quite large and I didn't want to cut them up and separate them. And then if you watched my video from last week, hopefully you did, check it out after this one. If not, I love this cow and I wanted to use this, and I thought these were soft enough colors to go well in my bedroom as well. So I ended up painting the box this really pretty like pink and white streaky kind of texture, and the color looked like a sunset. It was really pretty. Then I took it into my bedroom and I was like, this is way too loud. So I wanted to put the cow on it, the pink cow, which I haven't used yet. And then I just thought, I don't think this is gonna work. So I then pulled out this transfer, pretty in blue, which I love. And let me tell you this story about this. So I got this transfer probably a year ago. When it arrived, it was just destroyed. The paper wasn't sealed on the edges, so the instructions and just the other transfers were all stuck to the sticky part of the paper. So needless to say, I just couldn't use it. I had waited for it to arrive and I was so eager and I was so upset when it wasn't gonna work out, but ReDesign made it right and they sent me a new one. So I ended up with two of these and I wanted to salvage as much as I could from the first batch. So as you can see, it made it really a lot more challenging to cut out because there were images on top of images and I wasn't always sure what I was cutting or if the images would actually stick, but it all worked out great. So without further ado, here is my bird box. Using transfers is easy, but the real creativity comes in how you place them, and the skill is in cutting them just right. Since some images are connected, you have to carefully cut them so each one looks complete while keeping the leftover pieces looking good too. I've measured the box, and this large piece fits perfectly on one of the sides, which is great because less cutting is always better. I think this single flower will look great in the corner, leaving just enough blank space to give the eyes a place to rest. Make sure to rub the edges well before peeling off the backing, especially if they have sharp or pointy tips. And I thought adding a little grass at the bottom would help separate the flower on the ground from the birds in the sky and the trees, creating a full environment. Then I found another full piece that fits perfectly into the corner for the other side. I just love this hummingbird. It's my favorite piece from the transfer. I wanted to put it on the front, but I couldn't bear to cut it since it was too big to fit on a drawer. And I am so glad I didn't because it really tells a story here. I think this piece beautifully shapes the whole composition with its curves fitting perfectly into the corner like that. I just love how this side turned out. It took me a while to choose the right large piece for the top of the box, but all the thinking was worth it. It turned out so lovely. I wanted something full but not too busy for the front of the box. I also had to account for the handles taking up space. So at first I thought I'd have to measure and cut the image beforehand, but then I realized I could just use an X-Acto knife and cut it once it was already on the box. Duh. So you see that blue line? That's me measuring for no reason. I waited so long for these handles to arrive from Etsy. I wanted gold because I was inspired by kintsugi with blue and white china, but I didn't love the gold, and they ended up being too big anyway. I decided to stick with the original handles because they were the perfect size, and it made sense to keep the box looking like a filing cabinet since that's its best function. But the handles were all scuffed up, so I tried rub and buff for the first time, but it didn't work for this. So then I tried hand painting them silver. Next, I used clear wax to protect the transfers from wear and tear. I applied it all over to give the box a nice sheen and a polished finish, and then I let it dry for 24 hours. Now it was time to add the drawer liners, but I struck out so many times with this flimsy paper I got from Temu. I tried to cut around the bottom of the drawer with an X-Acto knife, but it didn't go through, so I had to use scissors instead. As soon as I peeled off the paper, I knew I was in trouble. It was so flimsy, and when I finally got it down and started rubbing it, it scratched up the paper. I tried again, but there were so many air bubbles. It took me 3 tries, but I finally got the hang of it. Once it was going, it was easy and fun to work with, and I could finally get the bubbles out quickly. But as I was peeling the side off, the adhesive from the back of the liners stuck to the side wall, and I tried using my Scotty Pillar to scrape it off, but that didn't work, so I used my X-Acto knife to pick it off, and then I had to repaint over all of the scratches. But I didn't give up. I finally got the hang of it, and I am so glad I stuck with it because I love the final result. Ta-da! So the drawers weren't sliding as smoothly as I wanted, so I used a loop stick to help them glide better. And as a happy accident, I used shellac primer because I was going to repaint the handles, but I ended up loving the matte white look, and it really elevated the box and just made the transfers stand out. And here's the final result. It turned out so lovely. I can't decide which side I love the most. Please let me know your favorite in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please consider liking and subscribing so you don't miss my next one. And in the meantime, check this one out.